You should be grateful for what you have, my mom said with a tight smile. But how could I be grateful when the one thing I worked for, the one thing my grandfather promised me, had been stolen from under my nose? The car wasn't just a vehicle, it was a symbol of trust, of love, of recognition for the hard work I had put into school and life. And when Grandpa asked me about it, expecting to see my proud smile behind the wheel, I felt my stomach drop. Because the truth was, my car wasn't mine anymore. My parents had quietly handed it over to my sister. Before I tell you how it all unfolded, and how that moment in my grandfather's eyes changed everything in our family, don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell icon, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world and helps us bring more real stories like this to life. My name is Annmarie, and this is the story of how betrayal from the people closest to me pushed me into a corner I never thought I'd be in, and how standing up for myself revealed truths none of us were ready for. It all started on my 18th birthday. Grandpa had always been my biggest cheerleader. Where my parents sometimes seemed too busy with my younger sister, Clara, he made sure I never felt invisible. He showed up at my school events, he helped me with my college applications, and he always told me he saw something in me that others didn't bother to notice. That's why when he pulled me aside after my birthday dinner and said, "Annmarie, I've got something for you," I knew it wasn't just a gift. It was something from his heart. The next morning, he drove me to his garage and uncovered a car he had been working on for months. It wasn't brand new, but it was perfect in every way. It gleamed under the light, and I could tell how much effort he had poured into restoring it. My eyes watered as he handed me the keys. "You've worked hard, and you deserve this. I want you to know I'm proud of you," he said. I hugged him so tightly, promising to take care of it, promising to never forget what it meant. That car wasn't just transportation, it was freedom, independence, and the proof that someone in my family believed in me. For weeks, I felt unstoppable. Driving to school in that car gave me confidence I never had before. My friends congratulated me, and for once, I didn't feel like I was living in Clara's shadow. See, Clara was always the golden child. She was younger, bubbly, and my parents adored her. She could do no wrong in their eyes. Meanwhile, I was expected to just quietly handle my responsibilities, not complain, and certainly not shine too brightly. But with Grandpa's car, I finally felt seen. Until the day it all changed. It started subtly. Clara began making comments about how cute my car was. She'd asked to borrow it for short errands. I said no at first, because I knew what that car meant. It wasn't just another family vehicle. It was mine. A gift. A promise. But one Saturday morning, I woke up to find the car missing from the driveway. I panicked, thinking it had been stolen, only to discover Clara had taken it out with my parents' permission. I stormed into the kitchen, demanding answers. "Relax, Annmarie," my mom said, not even looking up from her coffee. "It's just a car." "Just a car?" I repeated, my voice shaking. "Grandpa gave it to me. It's not yours to lend out." My dad cut in with his usual stern tone. "You need to learn to share. Clara's younger, she doesn't have her own yet. Don't be selfish." Selfish. The word stung. How could they not understand? Clara had always been given everything, new clothes, gadgets, endless attention. And now they wanted to strip away the one thing that was truly mine. I tried to put my foot down, but over the next few weeks, things spiraled. Clara used the car more and more, sometimes not even asking. Every time I complained, my parents brushed me off. One evening, I overheard them in the living room whispering about making things fair and Clara needing it more. A knot formed in my stomach. The breaking point came a month later when Grandpa came to visit. He looked around the driveway, his eyes narrowing. "Annmarie, where's your car? I was hoping to see how it's treating you." Clara bounced in from the yard at that exact moment, jingling the keys in her hand like they'd always been hers. "It's great, Grandpa. Thanks so much for letting me use it." The room spun. I froze, unable to speak, as Grandpa's smile faltered, his gaze shifting to me in confusion. That was when my mom jumped in smoothly. "We thought it made more sense for Clara to have it. Annmarie can always use ours if she needs to. It's just practical." I saw the hurt flash across Grandpa's face, though he tried to mask it. He looked back at me, and I'll never forget the disappointment in his eyes, not in me, but in the way things had been twisted. He had given me something from his heart, and my parents had stolen it. In that moment, a fire lit inside me. This wasn't just about a car anymore. This was about respect, about being seen, about not letting them erase me like I didn't matter. I clenched my fists, forcing myself not to cry in front of them. I knew if I broke down, they'd just call me dramatic. Instead, I made a silent promise to myself. If my parents thought they could strip away what was mine without consequence, they were wrong. Very wrong. And soon, they were going to find out just how much damage they had done by underestimating me. After that day, I couldn't stop replaying the look on Grandpa's face. The confusion, the disappointment, the silent question in his eyes. Why hadn't I stood up for myself? Why had I let Clara and my parents twist the truth so easily? That night, lying in bed, I realized something had shifted inside me. I had spent years biting my tongue, shrinking myself so Clara could shine, but this wasn't just another case of favoritism. This was theft. This was betrayal. I decided to stop waiting for my parents to do the right thing. If I wanted justice, I would have to find a way to take it. The next morning, Clara waltzed into the kitchen, twirling the car keys around her finger. She didn't even bother hiding it anymore. "Morning," she chirped, her tone dripping with smugness. "I'll be back later. Try not to miss me too much." I clenched my jaw so tight it hurt. "Clara, that's my car. You can't just take it whenever you feel like it." She raised an eyebrow. "Oh, come on. Mom and Dad already said it's fine. Don't make this a big deal." And with that, she walked out, slamming the door behind her. I sat there in silence, my cereal untouched, as my mom breezed in and started making coffee. "Annmarie, you need to stop creating drama," she said lightly, as if she were commenting on the weather. "Clara's younger. She deserves a chance to enjoy things too. You'll understand when you're older." "Understand what?" I asked, my voice trembling with anger. "That my feelings don't matter? That everything that belongs to me can just be handed to her?" Mom didn't even flinch. She just sighed and muttered, "Don't be selfish," before walking away. That word again. Selfish. As if expecting to keep what was rightfully mine made me some kind of villain. I knew arguing wouldn't change anything. They had already decided Clara was entitled to my gift. So instead, I started watching. Waiting. Looking for cracks. And they came faster than I expected. Clara, in her arrogance, didn't treat the car with the same respect I did. She left fast food wrappers on the seats. She bragged to her friends that it was hers, showing off like Grandpa had given it to her personally. One evening, I saw a new scratch along the side of the car, and when I pointed it out, Clara just shrugged. "Relax, Annmarie. It's just a car. No one cares about a little scratch." But I cared. And I knew Grandpa would too. That's when an idea began forming. Grandpa had always trusted me. He would listen if I told him the truth. But I couldn't just go to him with words. My parents would twist the story again, paint me as the bitter older sister trying to take something away from Clara. If I wanted Grandpa to see the truth, I needed proof. So I began keeping a quiet record. Every time Clara borrowed the car, I wrote it down. When she came back with dents or trash inside, I snapped pictures on my phone. When she bragged to her friends, I recorded little snippets of her voice on my old recorder, careful to stay unnoticed. It felt sneaky, even wrong, but I reminded myself, I wasn't the one stealing. I was protecting what was mine. Weeks passed, and my collection grew. Meanwhile, Clara became bolder. She started skipping school to take the car out with her friends. Once, she even left me stranded when I needed a ride to a part-time job interview. I had to take the bus while she cruised around town like a queen. I didn't get the job because I showed up late, and when I confronted her about it, she laughed in my face. Maybe if you were cooler, Annmarie, people would actually hire you, she sneered. I wanted to scream. But instead, I just smiled tightly and said, "Keep laughing, Clara. Just remember, cars don't protect you from consequences." She didn't understand what I meant, but I did. The breaking point came on a Friday night when Clara threw a party with her friends. My parents were out at a dinner, and she had the car parked out front, blasting music, kids piling in and out as if it were some kind of party bus. I watched from my bedroom window, disgusted, as they spilled drinks inside, jumping on the seats, treating Grandpa's gift like a joke. The next morning, I crept outside before anyone woke up. The sight made my stomach twist: sticky soda stains, cigarette burns, even a tear in the backseat fabric. My chest tightened as I took picture after picture, documenting the destruction. My hands were shaking, but my resolve was solid. That afternoon, Grandpa called unexpectedly. He said he wanted to stop by and take me for a drive, maybe grab lunch together. My heart skipped. This was it. My chance. When Grandpa arrived, Clara ran out to greet him, keys already in her hand. "Want me to drive us, Grandpa?" she asked sweetly. But Grandpa hesitated. His eyes flicked to me. "Actually, I'd like Annmarie to drive. After all, it's her car." The silence that followed was thick. Clara froze, her fake smile faltering, while my parents exchanged quick glances. I felt a rush of adrenaline, but I kept my voice steady. "Sure, Grandpa. Let me just grab the keys from Clara." Clara's face turned red. "That's not fair," Mom and Dad said. But Grandpa cut her off sharply. "I said the car was Annmarie's. That hasn't changed." For a moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, Clara handed me the keys, her eyes shooting daggers. I took them with a calmness I didn't feel, my fingers trembling as they closed around the metal. We drove off in silence. I could feel Grandpa studying me, his gaze heavy with unspoken questions. Finally, he asked softly, "Annmarie, what's been going on?" And that was when I knew it was time. Time to show him the pictures, the recordings, the evidence I had collected. Time to reveal how my parents had betrayed his gift, how Clara had destroyed something he had poured his heart into. As I pulled into a quiet parking lot, I turned off the engine, reached into my bag, and handed him my phone. "You need to see this, Grandpa." His eyes widened as he scrolled through the photos. The scratches, the stains, the torn fabric. Then he listened to Clara's voice recordings, bragging about how she totally owned the car now. By the time he finished, his hands were shaking. He looked at me with a mix of sorrow and fury. "They did this," he whispered. I nodded, my throat tight. I tried to stop it, but they wouldn't listen. They made me feel crazy for even caring. But this car, it means more than they'll ever understand. Grandpa sat back, silent for a long moment. Then he said something that sent a shiver down my spine. "Annmarie, I need you to trust me. Don't confront them yet. Let me handle this." I swallowed hard, my pulse racing. Whatever he had in mind, I knew it was going to change everything. And for the first time in weeks, I felt hope. But I also felt fear. Because if Grandpa was truly angry, my parents and Clara had no idea what storm was about to hit them. Driving back home with Grandpa that day, my heart wouldn't stop pounding. I kept sneaking glances at him, wondering what exactly he planned to do. He was calm, almost too calm, which made me more nervous. The man I knew was warm, gentle, the kind of grandfather who would slip me candy when my parents said no. But the man sitting beside me, jaw tight, eyes hard, he was someone else entirely. When we pulled into the driveway, Clara was waiting on the porch, arms crossed, glaring at me like she wanted to set me on fire with her eyes. The second we stepped out of the car, she snapped, "Finally. Hand those keys back." Grandpa's voice cut through the air like a blade. "No, Clara. This car was never yours. And after what I've just seen, you won't be touching it again." My parents rushed out, alarm flashing across their faces. Mom plastered on a nervous smile. "Dad, what are you talking about? You know how sisters are, always bickering." But Grandpa wasn't having it. "Bickering?" His voice thundered, so loud the neighbors probably heard. "I saw the photos. I heard the recordings. You let Clara destroy something that wasn't hers to begin with, and instead of protecting Annmarie, you helped her lie to me." My dad's face paled. "Photos? Recordings?" He looked at me then, his eyes narrowing. "What did you show him, Annmarie?" I stood a little taller. For once, I wasn't going to shrink. "The truth." Clara exploded. "You're such a snake. Sneaking around, recording me? Who does that? You're pathetic, Annmarie." I opened my mouth to respond, but Grandpa raised his hand. "Enough." His voice was quieter now, but deadlier. "Clara, you owe your sister an apology." Clara let out a harsh laugh. "What? I'm not apologizing. She ruined everything. You gave me that car." "I gave it to Annmarie." Grandpa roared, his face red with fury. "That car was a gift, a symbol of everything I worked for, meant for her. Not you." Clara's mouth fell open. For once, she didn't have a snappy comeback. Grandpa turned to my parents, his voice shaking with controlled rage. "And the two of you, how dare you twist my gift? Do you have any idea how cruel it was to let Clara take something so important from Annmarie? You've been enabling her selfishness for years, and now you've taught her to lie and steal without remorse." My mom tried again, her voice desperate. "Dad, please. You're overreacting. They're sisters, they can share." Grandpa's eyes went ice cold. "No. This isn't sharing. This is favoritism. This is betrayal. And I won't stand for it." The silence that followed was suffocating. My parents stared at him like they didn't recognize the man in front of them. Clara looked like she might cry, but anger burned hotter than any tears in her eyes. Finally, Grandpa turned to me. His voice softened, just for me. "Annmarie, from now on, the car stays with you. If anyone tries to take it, you call me directly. Do you understand?" I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. But Grandpa wasn't done. He faced my parents again, and the weight of his disappointment seemed to crush them where they stood. "I trusted you to raise these girls fairly. To protect them both. Instead, you've been playing favorites and teaching Clara she can do whatever she wants without consequences. That ends today." My dad shifted uncomfortably. "And what exactly are you going to do?" Grandpa's eyes narrowed. "I'm revising my will." The words hit like a bomb. My mom gasped. "Dad, you can't mean that." "I mean every word," he said firmly. "If you can't respect Annmarie now, then you don't deserve to benefit from what I leave behind. I won't reward cruelty and dishonesty. Annmarie is the only one who has shown me respect, gratitude, and responsibility. She will be taken care of. As for the rest of you, consider this your warning." My heart stopped. I hadn't expected that. I didn't even want Grandpa's money or property, I just wanted to be treated fairly. But the look on my parents' faces told me this punishment stung worse than anything else he could have said. Clara screamed. "This isn't fair. She doesn't deserve anything. She's just boring, plain Annmarie. I'm the one people like, I'm the one who actually matters." Grandpa shook his head slowly, sadness replacing his anger. "No, Clara. Popularity doesn't matter. Character does. And right now, you've shown me exactly what kind of person you are." Clara stormed inside, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. My mom went after her, calling her name, while my dad just stood there, looking like he'd aged 10 years in 5 minutes. Grandpa turned back to me, placing a steady hand on my shoulder. "I'm proud of you, Annmarie. You stood up for yourself with grace, even when it wasn't easy. That strength will take you far." I finally found my voice. "I didn't want to cause a war, Grandpa. I just wanted what was mine." He gave me a small, sad smile. "Sometimes, doing the right thing feels like starting a war. But don't ever doubt, you did the right thing." For the first time in what felt like forever, I believed him. That night, the house was heavy with silence. Clara locked herself in her room. My mom barely looked at me. My dad muttered something about fixing this mess, but I could see the cracks forming. The balance of power in the family had shifted, and they all knew it. And me? I went to bed with the car keys on my nightstand, the metal warm against my palm. Not just a symbol of freedom anymore, but a reminder that I wasn't invisible. That I wasn't nothing. Grandpa's words echoed in my head as I drifted to sleep. Sometimes, doing the right thing feels like starting a war. The war had only just begun, but for once, I wasn't afraid. Because I finally had something stronger than their favoritism on my side: proof, truth, and Grandpa's unwavering support. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough.